Welcome to the very final 15th video of the series, and today we are going to assemble everything we did and learned into one portfolio page. But before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that little bell to get notified whenever I post. Okay, let's get back to the video. Let's first gather all of the materials needed for the process. So first we'll need a template or guide for all the elements we want to represent on this page. Then of course the artwork we prepared and some extra help to boost the visual look of our portfolio. And in this case I'll be using Pacdora for the phone mockups. In my opinion, mockups are a very important step when you want to present your product to a potential client to make it more believable and representable. And Pacdora has over 5,000 3D mockups available, and it is very intuitive and easy to use. I'll show you the whole process a little bit later in the video and how you can also use this to step up your game. As always, you can download this PSD file and guide for free. The link is in the description down below. And if you're not using Photoshop, you can find a PDF file as well. Now, you don't have to follow these guidelines exactly, but I think it's useful to have some help just to keep everything cohesive. Okay, let's start with the background. And adding a gradient background on a new layer is a great way to start to break that empty canvas we have in front of ourselves. So make a new layer and rename it to snowflakes. And with the hard-on brush and almost white color, draw some dots on the canvas in different sizes. Now go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur and experiment with the blur radius. And I think I'll go with 10 pixels. Now let's duplicate this page and rotate it to get even more snowflakes on the canvas. You can resize it, maybe erase some dots, and at the end merge these two layers and adjust the opacity. Okay, let's quickly go through this template that we have. So on the top we have the title and short description. Here you can describe your artwork and what is it for, or if you're working on a specific game you can put a short description of the game, or at the end you can totally leave this space empty as well. Down here we have the space for pop-up windows, and here we'll put the finished design so it's immediately visible what we made. And as you can see, this is the space for the phone mockups that we'll make in Pacdora. The next step is UI elements, and right below that we have 8 little boxes for the icons. On this empty space on the bottom we can type thank you, or you can put your name and social media, however you want to conclude this page. We are starting from the top, so let's import the banners we made, and we're going to use one of them for the title. With the transform tool we can distort the perspective a little bit, and with the wrap tool adjust it even more. So I'm going to do that to fit a little bit better. And now let's type our title. I'll put UI design. You can also type user interface if you want to. Choose the best font for yourself. I'm using the Fat Frank font from Adobe Fonts, mostly because it is bold and easily readable. So with the same wrap tool, we can fit and adjust the position of the text. Once you're done, let's change the color of the title. Double click on the type layer to open this layer options, and I really like gradient, so I will add the gradient overlay option with maybe the red to fit on the banner better, and the stroke option. I'm just going to type a very short description of what is this page about and what kind of mobile game these elements can be used for. You can write the same thing as me or write your own description. It is time for mockups, and I'll go to Pacdora to set it up. So they have this iPhone mockups, and I'm going to choose this iPhone 14 model. For some reason, I didn't record the cursor, so sorry for that, but you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now that I'm inside the workspace, it is pretty straightforward, but the first thing I want to change is the phone color. And I think it's really cool they added this option as well. Okay, and now let's upload the image. If you downloaded the free materials from the previous video, you'll find the template to fit the dimensions for the mockups if you decide to use them. Now I'll just add the backgrounds first, and here we can adjust the position of the model and change the background color, even though I don't think I'll use any of the background colors here, so I'm just going to set up the transparent background. Once I'm done with setting everything up, we can go and click render and export, and here we can choose between different formats and the quality of the image. The other option is to click screenshot, but with this option the image quality is way lower. Now I'm going to repeat the same steps for the rest of the backgrounds. The very useful feature is this 3D view in the top right corner, so this helped me to see have I adjusted the image correctly before I saved it. And after I exported the front view of each background, I decided to go back and export the images from the side, just to have more options. So now that I'm done with each mockup, if I go to this 3D design option, we get access to even more adjustments and options. For example, I love this scene option on the left side. It automatically adds more phone models and sets up a scene for you, which is really useful for presentation purposes. Because we work with 3 backgrounds, I'll stick to these scenes that have 3 phone mockups. Although everything is adjustable and you can erase or add models if you need to. For example, here I added the backgrounds with pop-up windows, and if I click on the model, I can drag it left and right or up and down. Or you can even rotate the models. And trust me, it is not complicated and you don't need any knowledge of 3D software to use this. So what I did for this scene, I wanted to have these 3 phones behind one another. So with these simple adjustments, I made a scene exactly as I wanted. I was honestly impressed with the site and how much effort is put into it. And the most important thing for me was how intuitive it is to use. This video is not sponsored by Pacdora. I genuinely love the site, and if you want to try it out, you can use my code LSketch20 for 20% off of your subscription. And now we are back to Photoshop. I'll just drag and drop the images, and on the top I want the finished UI designs, and below it I'll place the mockups with the backgrounds. So you always want your finished designs to be visible on the top, and then you break down the process below it. And it's time for UI elements. So import all of the UI elements you made. I'm going to speed up this part a little bit because we already made the whole UI, so we just need to place everything on their spot. I made these rectangles as guides so you can exactly know how much space should be left from the edges, so make sure to stay inside these rectangles. All of the elements I imported, I grouped them and organized them so I could easily navigate through the layers. For the text of each column, I kept the same font but just changed the colors. So I repeated the same process for the icons. If you group your elements, you can double-click on the group and add the drop shadow option, and it will automatically apply to all of the elements inside this group. And for the very end, I typed "Thank you for watching" to conclude this page. And that is it. The portfolio page is done and ready to post. Don't forget about the LSketch20 code for the Pacdora subscription. I hope you enjoyed this series this month, and I really hope you found some useful information in these videos. And if you did, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment down below. Stay awesome, guys. Enjoy your holidays, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!